Hello, brothers, sisters, beings of light. Welcome to this full moon oracle reading for the full moon in Aquarius, which I believe hits its peak this coming Sunday, Monday, maybe. And so many energies shifting. The undercurrents of change have just been spectacular, miraculous, outstanding, and awesome. Today is actually the zenith sun. I wish I could tell you astronomically exactly what that means, but it is, what I do know is that it's when the sun is at its brightest point. So if you have a chance to receive this as I am dispensing it, which is on Tuesday, 13th, that you can get outside and soak up some of those solar energies. And what I was tapping into as I was preparing for the reading is because of the clarity of the solar force coming in today, we may find that the shadow around this moon, which I think is supposed to be a supermoon as well, it may cast a larger shadow. So that contrast of the light to the dark, it could help to define the shadowy aspects of the self more clearly. And the full moon in Aquarius is the future. It is resourcefulness. It's community. It is the coming time of the collective. And it's also, people say it's connected with extraterrestrials. So I also think of space-time when I think of that. And it's an air sign. It's a mutable air sign. So it's logical, analytical, and is active in the mental field. So let's go ahead and create the space. Just calling in on the highest light of truth. Asking for transmissions, revelations, wisdom, and guidance for this particular lunar cycle to help us individually and collectively rise above what has held us back and help us to befriend this energy and allow us to come more into alignment, giving us messages that will help us to resonate and contemplate on what is revealed through this particular time and passage. Full thanks, so be it. Our theme for this reading is going to be the flow card. I'll give you a look too to see. The flow card, I've been having a lot of dreams about water, and we've just come out of water season and moving into earth. I say water season. Cancer was water season. We're in Leo season and moving towards Virgo, which is earth, but there's still this water element that's like really palpable. A lot of emotions moving. And let's just read what the transcript in here says. So this is for the theme around this moon. There's a natural movement of events in the world. You can see it in phenomena such as the tide, the ebb and flow of oceans and rivers that rise up from the earth, then flow to the sea. The symbol of flow represents the effortless and natural movement toward a certain destination. It signifies an ability to gracefully move around obstacles and reminds you of the sense of allowing. When flow comes to visit, it's a sign that your intentions have been in motion. Now is the time to allow nature to run its course. You are being called to effortless movements and the path of least resistance. It's like being within music, flowing within partnership. Think of the artist who creates without guile or craft, calling creativity up from the soul and bringing it to life without effort. You are called to be like a river, knowing the fulfillment of destiny is assured. Enjoy the ride. The medicine of this card says, don't try to push against the river or swim upstream right now. You can trust that when the time is right, your dreams will begin to take shape, and you will be invited to dance with destiny. Right now, however, you must relax. This is not the time to bang on doors that refuse to open. Whatever obstacle is in front of you right now, trust this is for the highest good. It is an opportunity to regroup and reconsider your choices. Mercury retrograde. It's all about rethinking, recalibrating, reconsidering. You must trust that your intentions will take form in good time. Consider this time a gift. I like the way that this reading is starting off. Feels very supportive. And we have some powerful allies assisting the process. We have the Jaguar and the Quetzali. The Jaguar being the one that can move between the worlds, the one that is able to see in the dark and to navigate those more difficult and shadowy realms with stealth, with ease, with fearlessness and courage and humility. So the picture of this card, you see the moon down there? That feels significant. The Jaguar is sitting next to the moon. Yeah, okay, maybe this is what I was starting to get in the beginning of the reading, of the amplification of the shadow and really calling on the spirit of the Jaguar, or whatever that spirit is that represents courage, resiliency, resourcefulness, able to navigate the shadow realms. That which that lives inside of you, that is stealthy, that is resolute. Calling on those allies to support this process. So the Jaguar is the protector of all life in the Amazon, and in times of fear, she brings courage and certainty. Jaguar is at the top of the food chain and never becomes prey. With great stealth, she can track her mark from a distance and not be seen or heard. She moves gracefully through the jungle, relishing the abundance of the rainforest, fearless and at ease. Jaguar knows the ways beyond death and is the master of the shadows, blending invisibly between light and dark, night and day. Jaguar calls you to explore beyond the walls that confine you, to go outside your normal routine, to push your limits and boundaries. She is delivering an invitation from your own future to investigate the unknown, to venture into the mystery and the dark places you have been reluctant to explore. Toss all caution to the wind. Know that your Jaguar instincts will serve you well. What in your life needs to be released? Full moon, completion. What is completing right now? What have you carried around with you for too long, which is ready to be let go of once and for all? Jaguar medicine is available to heal the fear so you can allow it to go. It's time to come out of the shadows and in the shadow games that you may have unconsciously agreed to play. Call on Jaguar to unfetter you from toxic relationships and recover your natural instinct for the right people and situations. And so this followed with the fertile void, inner winter, rest, patience, potency, secret beginnings. So within this traversing of negative space, traversing of the shadow, there is this implementation of a new way of being that's coming through the challenges that may be presented during this time, the places that you're coming up against in the river that have blocked the flow of energy, of creativity, of joy. And the request is to go outside of your comfort zone, maybe massively, maybe to enter into a agreement with life that you are going to take the unknown path, the unexplored path, and that you're willing to go beyond where you've ever gone before. With this last new moon, in the reading it said, it was either worded as the sacrifice or the giveaway. I believe it was the giveaway. And it is that which you feel like you cannot live without. What you are so attached to that actually is binding you from growing. So if you followed through with some of that around the new moon, or you can at least see the progress that you have made in detaching, letting go, this full moon may create an enlightenment around that process. And it may require you to go further than you thought you can. And so we call on the allies of the jaguar, of the owl, of those that are able to help us to feel safe. That might be Archangel Michael. It could be the dragons, whatever it is that you see as greater than yourself, that is of divine perfection, that is of the living light, that is able to move through the more denser layers of this dimension. The Jaguar medicine is available to heal the fear, so you can allow it to go. To remember that as you're meeting the fear, that is part of the healing of it, so that no longer plagues you and binds you and keeps you safe, keeps you in this idea that you are actually safe by playing it small, by holding back, by not taking the leap or the chance. And then the fertile void and Quetzali. So Quetzali is, it's a sacred bird to the Maya, and it is a keeper between heaven and earth. So of great wisdom, of traversing both worlds. And here's a picture of it. It says, a breathtakingly beautiful and sacred bird. The resplendent quetzal lives high in the tropical jungle known as the cloud forest. Its yard-long iridescent green tail feathers were prized for their beauty and used in ceremonial headdresses. Like jade, the green quetzal feathers were equated with water, vegetation, and the fecundity of earth. The word quetzal is synonymous with precious. Because its natural habitat is high in the mountains of the mist-covered cloud forests, the quetzal is related to the celestial region, bringing a connection between earth and the upper levels of the heavens. Babies were compared to the quetzal feathers, both precious gifts from the sky. When the quetzal flies into your life, it brings precious gifts from the celestial realms: beauty, liberty, abundance, prosperity, illumination, and sacred knowledge. Open your arms and your heart to receive and trust your inner divine wisdom. So this is the leading force. It's like what will be revealed through the shadow work. It's what's actually sitting underneath the meeting of the fears, the meeting of the binding and the unconscious behaviors. As those clear, you come in contact with that bridge inside of yourself that is capable and able of knowing the way. Even when the way is not formal, it's not a set destination or a set steps or method. There's a knowing behind it, and you have access to that. So the action card, the more oriented piece of this, is this fertile void. The inner winter, rest, patience, potency, secret beginnings. And this feels like an invitation to contemplation and stillness in the fear. So as you find yourself facing some of these more difficult reflections and shadows, how can you sit into that space, sit into the discomfort? I just turned directly to the page too. So it's like, it's there. You know where it is. You know where that sweet spot is, where maybe you're really heightened and on alert because it's triggering the reptilian brain. It's triggering primal instincts. It's triggering the lower nature. And can you be in that place, because that's where the seeds are being planted, where you're receiving seed, where you're sowing those seeds. So this card, it says it's an auspicious card, and it holds the potent golden seeds of new beginning and the aftermath of an end. We're called to have patience and to enter a state of deep rest, repair, regeneration, and acceptance. To let a part of our lives, or even who we once were, metaphorically die in order to seed, sprout, bud, and bloom again. There's often a letting go, a grief or mourning involved, a death of self, of what once was, the ending of things that were once important, relationships, jobs, identities, ways of being. The fertile void asks that we honor endings to begin again. It's a crucial part of growth, and new isn't possible without it. In the card, you can see the golden seed cradled in the dark, fertile womb of the soil. It's easy to mistake the phase of growth as one where nothing much is happening. But beneath the surface of the winter soil, things have never been more active. Winter is a phase of initiation, renewal, and rebirth. When we're going through a period of inner winter, we experience this too. We metaphorically go underground by coming to a standstill and allowing ourselves to recover and rest. We don't realize it, but this is the most important part of our growth, and it takes faith and surrender to it. Trust the sureness of the soil. The new is being woven without you having to micromanage every move. Trust the sureness of the soil. Be cradled by the great mystery. This is a very tender and powerful time. How can you surrender into the great mystery? What else do you have for us? Spirit, pay attention to your ideas as they are messages of true divine guidance sent in answer to your prayers. I know for me that I've had in the last few days some experiences of true inspiration, and inspiration is, let's call it God motivation. And so anything that is backed by God will succeed. The question is, do we have the timing right? Do we have the procedures, the implementations correct? Have we embodied what it is that is inspiring us? Have we allowed it to unfold in our own life? And I say all of this because speaking as a teacher and observing many people who are starting to shift into teaching roles, that there has to be a certain level of embodiment first before you can actually transmit the teachings. It has to be something that has become a part of you, that has become part of your medicine, that has tended your own body and life, that has proven itself to you and therefore becomes embodied as who you are, an expression of who you are without words. And therefore then the teachings can come through in integrity. And it's really common now in this age with how quickly we can consume information and do online courses and do, these very short stints and consider ourselves masters, that these are not embodied teachings, that they are fast-tracked, and therefore they're not always complete, they're not always whole, and they're not in integrity. And I feel that there's the curriculum that you may be given right now in your life is what will at some point become embodied, and then be able, whether you are someone who recognizes yourself as a teacher or not, that you will teach other people in your life. It could be children, could be colleagues, it could be clients, it could be family. There's a piece in what's happening right now that is so important to really allow the full process and not fast track through. Not let it stay up here and be all analytical. Oh, I know this. The more you know, the less you know. If that is what you're telling yourself, it's a clear indication that you actually don't know. Because the more you know, you realize the less that you actually know. There's a humility that comes when there is a mastering of a craft or a area of expertise. When there's an embodiment of it, there's a real humility, because you have to go through the dark, sooty parts of yourself to fully retrieve and to let the roots ground into your life and the expression of your being. And that doesn't happen without humility. So pay attention to the areas of interest, to particular themes that are showing up, particular challenges or gifts that are being illuminated. One of the shadows that you may be working with here, I'm not familiar with the gazelle. We've drawn the gazelle card. And I don't know enough about gazelles to, I say, as soon as I say that, then it comes to me. I was going to say that I don't know enough about them to intuitively make a call on that, but gazelles are, when I think of gazelles, I think about their speed, accuracy. I hear the word temptation too. There's like a temptation by other animals to attack gazelles. Let's see what the book says. So that's some interesting themes. All right, bear with me. I've lost the number. Gazelle is separation, walking away, endings. So it feels like a temptation too, like to come back. The arrival of this card may not be a welcome sight, my friend, but its meaning cannot afford to be minced. Whenever gazelle energy is present, it's time to walk and maybe even run away. Be it from a belief, a situation, or possibly even a person. There's nothing good here for you anymore. As difficult as it may feel, consider the grace a gazelle exudes as it flees the scene with great speed and alacrity. I'm not familiar with that word. Even in the face of danger or defeat, the gazelle exudes confidence in its ability to bring itself somewhere new. There is wisdom in this energy for you too. Should you choose to ignore this card, it's likely that things will get progressively worse. It's also likely that a part of you already knows whatever this card is pointing to isn't serving you anymore. Release fear. Recognize that the universe is quite fond of a vacuum. As soon as the space this situation was taking up is cleared out, something bigger and better will come and take its place. For further reflection, if change is something you resist, or maybe even downright fear, now would be an excellent time to explore why. Often this fear is linked to one's definition of safety, stability, and comfort. Try to find the balance between the necessary growth that only comes from pushing ourselves outside our comfort zone and the need to feel safe. This has been in the readings all summer, is pointing to like really specific ideals, beliefs, situations, people that we have just been really attached to, that there have been like strong resistance in allowing to transform. And so my question to you is, do you know what that is? Is there something that you have just not been willing to really accept that it's dead, to accept that it's causing you to be ill? When we let something rot in the drinking water, it makes everyone sick in its surroundings. So how do we honor, find the flow, remove the blockage, sit in the void of that, sit in this space that's uncomfortable that we traditionally fill with things, with people, with substances, with food? Can you practice not feeling that void and being and feeling, Feeling, feeling the void, so that there the space can be granted for the emergence of something new, something that's waiting to take root in your life but has no space to do so? What can occur if we're able to meet this transit with grace, with willingness, with surrender and trust, is an alchemical process, the harnessing of the internal flame. This comes with the salamander card. In alchemical thought, the salamander is strongly linked to the element of fire and plays a catalytic role in the process of alchemy. The poisonous bodies of the salamanders are sacrificed to complete the philosopher's stone, which is the great work of such practice, symbolizing the perfection of enlightenment. The arrival of this amphibious friend means that your internal fire is now required for your own alchemical transformation. Sometimes it is important to reflect on what ignites your internal flame, what inspires you, excites you, makes you come alive. Often feelings of fear, excitement, and anticipation go hand in hand. Move closer to this combination of emotions now. In this chapter of your life, it is necessary to push the envelope and challenge yourself by stepping outside the bubble of comfort. You already know what exists there. Try something new instead. Nothing changes if nothing changes, and the entire purpose of alchemy is experimental transformation. You are being asked to try on a new shape or size. While it doesn't mean that you must commit to the first new size you try on, being brave enough to step into something new does signal that you won't be able to return to everything you once knew. And honestly, why would you want to? Hallelujah. I don't know about y'all, but I'm ready for something new, something invigorating, something that makes me feel alive and nourished and capable of being in my childlike wonder, being in the space where there's an unlimited potential because I hold no beliefs of fear based on what I have experienced in this life and other lifetimes. That I am then free to dream a new dream. I am then free to live in the new world, the world where I am co-creating with spirit, and I am no longer a victim. All right, Spirit, so can you give us one last card? The Power of Good. Ajna Durga. So I'm sealing this reading. This reading is more than a reading. What this is it's a transmission. So what is coming in through this is getting activated inside of your own etheric body. It's getting activated as a template, as a geometry within you. And so this is the seal of the reading that brings it all together. It's like when you are doing a geometric pattern and you take that last line to create the to complete the circuit. Ajna Durga completes the circuit, the power of good. That you need never lose faith in the power of good. You need never lose faith in how much you can accomplish as an independent and inspired individual in this world. You need never believe that you are alone or without divine protection. You need never fear evil. The third eye of the Divine Mother sees all things, is ever watchful, and ever just. She births through holy vision the manifest power of good in all realms. Her gaze is upon you now. Trust her. Believe in the power of the divine to keep an eye on things for you. Trust that power to alert you when you need to know something or to understand what is happening in your life and what you need, even if you aren't so sure of that yourself at times. Actively contest negativity. When you feel something isn't coming from love, acknowledge it immediately. You don't have to make it about you or analyze it. Use your divine connection to deal with it promptly and effectively. Call for divine support in all things. You will not divert help from someone else if you ask for it for yourself. Allowing yourself to be helped empowers your path, which in turn helps all beings. Divine assistance is always there for you unconditionally. If you are not thinking the best thoughts, divine support will correct them. Never hesitate to call for that support. It is your greatest ally. Give up your attachment to the past experiences of rejection and abandonment so that you can open to how much the divine loves you and can help you. Practice feeling confidence and unconditional trust in a higher power, knowing it is stronger than all else. So it is. Thank you for dropping in for this reading. I hope that it landed well for you, that it resonated, and that you feel this activation within your own body, mind, emotion, spirit, and that you may carry it with you through this lunar cycle. If you found it helpful, I do appreciate hitting the like button, helping the algorithm so that this can be shared with other people. And for more, subscribe to get the notifications. And until we meet again, may you be forever blessed. May you live simply and purely. Pura vida.